Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, using the Gilded Tarot Royale by Chiro Marchetti, text by Barbara Moore. There's the box if you want to see it, and I know the website's here. I think it's at the bottom. If I could read it. Llewellyn, I think. Llewellyn.com. There's a couple other socials there if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards. Spellcasting Oracle cards by Barbara, Flavia, and Lisbeth. There, you get their full names on there. That way, if you want to see how they're spelt. And then there's website for them, a couple websites actually. She Who Is Art is what pops out to me, but if anything else there, makes you interested, go ahead and go for it, of course. And finally, the dice I'm using, most of them come from the dice shop, I think. mathartfun.com, and then there's this Tom Anders. I have a 21-sided dice, which does omit the Fool, but that's what I use for the major arcana, and then I got a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana and a 4-sided dice for the element of the minor arcana. And there's the information if you want it. There's also this part. I almost forgot to show that. If that's something you're interested in, if you want to use that, go ahead and use that if you want to follow that down. All right. And with that being said, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again, and over to your reading. Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Virgo? So I'm seeing a couple good earth cards come in, which is really good for Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign, so seeing earth cards come in for earth, it's a good thing. Change. Is it a change, or is it like something that just needs to be done? And what I mean by that is like it's a change in the sense of like we're changing maybe how we deal with somebody, but it's not something that just came out of the blue. You probably have been thinking this is something that needs to happen anyway. How does this King of Pentacles in the past? I feel like you've made a decision and you've been working up to doing it. Like you made the decision. 3 of Pentacles, you put the work in already. The Devil card reversed. This is on the dice. And this, I feel like you've made a decision already to disconnect from some stress, to disconnect from something. But this has been a process. You made this decision however long ago it needed to be made. And you've been putting in the work to disconnect, to slowly disconnect. It reminds me of something with like 1,000 wires connected to it. And like I've been evaluating like where do all these wires go? What do they do? And as I've been getting ready to disconnect them, I knew what they did before I disconnected them. So I've been I was like, all right, I made plans for this. Now that I've done that, I'm going to disconnect these wires. Now I'm not getting this for here anymore. I'm going to get it from over there. So I'm disconnecting these wires. I just keep getting it's like disconnecting wires, and it's like there's 1,000 of them, it feels like. Which may seem daunting, but if you take your time over, for example, of a year, it's like less than 100 a month. Maybe 25 a week, but you've been doing it. It's like, if you take, the more you divide it out, it's like, yeah, I've been doing like 4 or 5 a day, so it's maybe been ahead of schedule. So it's been taking a while. I knew it was going to take a while, but it had to be done a certain way, and I've been doing what I needed to do. It feels like you've been working at that. It makes me wonder if you were like really kind of just like going in the direction of protecting yourself, kind of like I'm finding other ways to do things, that way if these wires do get disconnected, but at the same time you were disconnecting them. So I don't know if you kind of looked at it in that sense, like disconnecting from somebody as much as kind of like just backing things up to where I'm not going to need to be connected with them. So if I do distance myself from them, it's not going to be a big deal anymore. You've been looking out for other people if you had to. This is not something I feel like I wanted to do. It's something I feel like I needed to do. It might be because other people are involved and I don't like. I feel like it's centered around a person that I don't care for. It could be a job or a situation. It could be. But I feel like if I was going to center around a person, it feels like it makes more sense. This person is toxic for other people. Maybe I can deal with it, or maybe I know how to maneuver it. I know that it's not the best of people, but the way it's hurting other people, the way this person's hurting other people, it's like I kind of have to do this. I have to start disconnecting and finding other ways to do this so they don't have access through me to cause more problems for these people. This is very subtle, but also very quick. The strength card is here, but I feel like it's kind of like a secondary energy. I feel like I've disconnected all 1,000 wires. I feel like I have disconnected them. It's almost like maybe there's a ghost connection. Like if I really feel like I need them, I can put them back where I need to put them. If I feel like I really need to use them, so they're not completely gone. But I feel like all of a sudden I'm like, I don't need any of these wires anymore. And I feel like it's almost like if there was 1,000 wires, right? I've disconnected all 1,000, and it's connected to this big box on a rolling cart. And I'm like, you know what? I've disconnected everything. Let me just put this away somewhere. I can bring it back if I need to, but I'll just put it away so it's out of the way. So I just feel like I'm making this swift and quick, very quiet disconnect. And I'm just not even acknowledging to other people like what I've done, but I know what I've done. And I've done it for good reason. And it's kind of like, I'm kind of nervous about it because I'm like, let's see what happens here. Because like, are we going to have an issue with this? There is some stress with this because I'm doing what I feel like I need to do, but I don't feel completely comfortable with it. But I'm like, I feel like I have to do this. I feel like this is what I need to do, at least for now. You have solidified your situation. You're completely, like, physically safe. Emotionally, I don't know. Physically, I feel like things are where they're supposed to be. Physically, I feel like if that happens, I can do this. If this happens, I can do that. I feel like I got it on lock. I feel like I'm fine. Emotionally, I got a little bit of some bubbles going on there, if you will. There's this next phase coming in, because I feel like, for example, if it's a person, I've just connected these 1,000 wires, so I'm not really dealing with this person anymore. A new phase comes in after. How does this show up for Virgo? You kind of know what's going on, you kind of don't, but it's kind of like, all right, it's kind of like whatever those connections were, like, it's not, you've moved on to a point where it's just like it's not coming in. It's just like if they want something, if this is a person, those 1,000 wires were disconnected, right? And all of a sudden they want you. You don't have to go into this tower card about it. Like if all of a sudden the connection wants to come back, or all of a sudden somebody's demanding you reconnect those 1,000 wires right now, Virgo. If you know what's good for you, blah blah blah. You don't have to go that tower card where, I gotta hurry up and do this. You're an earth energy. Earth is known for moving slowly, especially when they're not sure about something. Wait it out for a minute. It's gonna come. Just don't move towards it really quickly. Just don't do that. That tower card is threatening. It's almost like somebody threatening to pull you back. What they're advising you to do is kind of look at it from a different perspective and kind of like, there's a quick move that has to be made here maybe, but let's not go towards something I know I don't want. If I'm going to make a quick move, might as well go to something else that at least has a better possibility. So can we get more about that? Because that's not usually an earth thing to move forward in a different direction like that, but the devil can be your ally, because it talks about earth energy. In the tarot deck, it can be a relation to Capricorn. Capricorn's also an earth energy, so you can actually roll with that. It's known for being very very strict about boundaries and not very forgiving about people who cross those boundaries. Virgo doesn't like people crossing boundaries anyway, so they can roll with that. The Two of Swords, half in, half out, is like reducing blocks and realizing that when somebody pushes you or tries to force you to do what they want, you do have that ability to be stubborn. Use it then. That's when you need to use it. It's not a bad thing when you use it to your advantage. Stubborn versus resilient. Are you just resilient by holding your ground? Or you're being stubborn by... Stubborn is like when it goes against you. This would be more resilient. So it's like people might call you stubborn for not doing what they want you to do, but it may not be actually stubborn as much as resilient. I don't know if we're mincing words here. But you have that earth energy. Dig in your feet. Don't do what they want you to do. Head your energy in a different direction. Lock yourself into something else where you can't turn around. Kind of like, nope, I've invested in this over here. Can't help you. I also get, for those of you this is really going to hit with, when you've disconnected those 1,000 wires, you can invest in something else and start getting your energy locked up and tied up in something else sooner rather than later if you want, so you don't have that ability to go their way, and you can be like, hey, sorry, tied up in other things now. Can't help you. You don't have to wait, but you can. It's up to you. They're saying when they try to pull you back and demand you reconnect those 1,000 wires, be resilient, stubborn, resilient, however you want to look at it. Don't give them what you want, and tie yourself up into something else that you rather have, or at least you feel like you have a better chance than what they want you to pull back in. There seems to be, especially if you are resilient and you go a different direction, whoever this person is, they are who they are. This is interesting. Because it's another energy that you'd think would match you, but this time it... Okay, so. Page of Wands, kind of half in, half out. The Hierophant card is here. The Hierophant also showed up on the dice, so they're doubling down on this. But they're also showing the Storm card. So, there may be a bond with this person. There may be something that ties you to them fairly strongly. But when they're backed up with the Storm card, like Earth connecting with the Storm, like this is like the storm that never ends, like the 100-year storm. It's just constantly a storm. It's constantly a problem. It's constantly a whirlwind, constantly a mess, constantly problematic. I feel like they're trying to give you a heads up that, like, this is nothing you can fix. You can't make sense to this person in a way that they're going to change anything. You can make sense and they can agree with what you're saying makes sense, but they're not going to change anything. So if that makes sense. You can't effectively make sense. Effective in this, like, you're not going to effectively get them to stop doing what they're doing and do something better. This is a very strong card that's just kind of like, I do things the way I do things and the way I think this is right for my life. I feel like, and you're like, yeah, but you got, everything breaks every 5 minutes where you are. Like, people are constantly screaming and yelling and money goes missing and people miss appointments. Like, it works for me. I know how to make this work. If people would do it my way, it wouldn't be this bad. And it's kind of like, no, they're the ones making that whirlwind. They're the one making that mess. They won't do things differently. You can make sense, you can make a point, and they might even agree with you, but they still won't change it. That's what I'm getting there. There's, if we're going to use the word stubborn in a bad sense, that would be somebody who's like stubborn. They're not going to change their ways. They don't care how bad it is for them or anybody else. They're just not going to change. So that may be where that energy, maybe you would call that would be a version of I would call stubborn, where things are like you're not willing to change and it's not helping. It's actually making things worse. Your side would be resilient, same type of energy. It's just using it to your advantage. Like, I'm not going back into that crap show. I'm not going to do it. No. If you're able to disconnect from this, you do have a healing card, literally the Four of Swords, a healing card coming in. The Sun card and the King of Cups. There's somebody who, I feel like you have other people around you who will support you if you decide to take it. Once you've made up your mind, I do feel like there's definitely supportive energy around you that can help back you up and help you feel better about what's going on. help you feel better about making this change that's better for you. For some reason, there might be some guilt or anxiety, or I don't want to say the word shame, but for some of you, maybe that's going to hit where you feel bad about or shameful about something, even though you shouldn't, because you're disconnecting from a toxic energy. There's a reason for that. If that's there, and if that's there, I feel like it's disconnecting from those feelings. It's kind of like feeling shameful about something that you should not feel shameful about. You know what I mean? There's a million topics we could go through, but there's something that you might feel shameful about, you shouldn't feel shameful about. And there's support around this trying to help you heal and helping you get away from that energy. This toxic energy might have also weaponized that same feeling and tried to make you feel bad about certain things and tried to keep control over you by making you feel bad about things or trying to get you to feel bad about things. If you pull away from that, there is healing away from that. There is support to disconnect from that. This is interesting. This ending, because you got the Sun card actually coming in twice. You have it on the dice, and you actually have it showing up in the Oracle deck. No matter where the Sun shows up, it's very good. It's very positive. It's like the best outcome you could possibly hope for. This is by disconnecting from this. This is actually really good. By disconnecting, that first stage is like finding support, people who really do care, people who are trying to help you see better things, people who are bringing you up and believe in yourself and realize that you don't need to feel bad or shameful about things that really are out of your control or not your fault or however that goes. And there's a next level where I feel like I can't fix the other person. Whoever this other person is, I feel like I have no ability to fix them. Whatever that may be, like questionable fix. I can't, well, let's say change them. I can't change them. Maybe that's a better way. I can't change how they're treating me or we're treating me or treat other people or live their life. I can't change that. I literally can't. That's the Two of Cups. Or Two of Swords. We'll just throw that down there. But this is love for yourself. This is you having stronger energy, stronger motivation, stronger things moving you forward. You might be surprised at how much things get better. Especially if this energy was very much a daily thing for you or even a weekly thing for you. Once you detach from this energy, you're going to notice your energy not only lifts, but it seems to rise above for a while. And you can create new things from that. And you feel like this breath of fresh air coming in. Like when that person's gone or not around me, I don't feel like I'm carrying around this 20-pound weight everywhere I go. Like from desk to desk, for home and back again, and up the stairs and down the stairs. Even though it looked like just a 20-pound weight, carrying it all day, every day, it becomes a lot. And when you stop carrying it, you notice it, and you feel a lot lighter, a lot freer, a lot more optimistic. It's something where this situation, by disconnecting, is much better for you. I feel like this reading is about not only like saying that, doing this is a good thing. Hopefully that you can get past that anxiety, because there is some type of guilt coming in with it. Hopefully this is helping you get that backing so you feel more confident about letting it go. But also, it's also saying like talking with other people, letting other people support you, letting other people help show you like there's nothing you did wrong here. You did the right thing for you, and actually the right thing for this person, because the more people that play into that bad behavior, the just worse it gets. So by disconnecting, you're basically saying in a very blunt way that behavior is intolerable and I'm not going to tolerate it. And if other people decide to, that's on them. So you're giving this other person a chance to realize that their behavior is not acceptable. Doesn't mean it's going to change, because I feel like they don't want to. But you're giving them that opportunity. So you're doing a lot for this situation, and ultimately it's going to very much benefit you by releasing this and going where you need to go. I think we're there. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.